Welcome to another episode of Pure Advocates, and today we got my good brother Jermaine in the building.
What up? What up? Olo.
What's going on with you, my brother, man? How you living, bro?
It's an honor, man. I love what you got going, man. The platform's amazing, and I love the fact that you're spreading out this positive message.
I appreciate you, man. That means a lot coming from you, bro. You know what I mean? Straight up, bro. How you doing, man? How's everything been?
I'm good, man. No complaints. You know, grinding. Things are starting to open back up.
Oh yeah, I seen everything in LA open.
Yep. We're back there. Music. Everybody's trying to put out material. It's touring season's approaching, so I mean, it's time to get to it.
Absolutely, bro. You're right, man. So give us a little bit of background about yourself, bro.
Man,
you know, everybody want to know, man, who's Jermaine? Because I know you got the hashtag going, where's Jermaine?
Man, it's a long journey. I
mean,
it's man, you know me, so like you've seen it, like you've been around and you've seen the journey, the grind.
Absolutely. Just give them like a small glimpse.
Man, I would say, man, like the best way for me to start is just like, I'll start back to like when I pretty much got my introduction to the industry.
Yeah.
I started out was in Seattle. I grew up in somewhat of a musical family. When I say that, I'm meaning that my father was a DJ, my uncle was a DJ, but they were local DJs in the Seattle scene. They hadn't really branched out. My uncle was making mixtapes, you know. I was in high school. I was the kid that was selling mixtapes out of his locker. I was the kid on the basketball team that would make the mixes for the warm-ups before the game and all of that.
Right.
But like my senior year of high school, it's just like I had these aspirations of like getting into the industry. You know, I'm like, how do I get into it and work on it on the business side? Because by then I had found out that, you know, the artist thing wasn't for me. So I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't talented for it, and I knew that. So I was like, how do I get in on the business side? So I started doing some research, and like at that time, the cool title to me was an A&R. But I had no idea what it meant.
Facts.
You know? So I was like, man, this is something that I want to do. I want to work in music. A&R seems cool, but I don't really know what it is.
Let me look into it.
Yeah, you know. So, I'm looking at A&R titles and things. You know, I'm even like applying to some positions, not meeting any of the qualifications, not getting any emails back, none of that.
Right.
So, I'm like, I'm going to college, and I'm like, how do I get my foot in the door? So what I do is I just get all these email contacts, and I just cold email probably like 400 people that work in the industry. You know, just asking like for an opportunity to do an internship. I want to work for free, whatever it takes, like entry level. Like I just want to get my foot in the door.
Right.
So I get one response, and the response I get is from G Unit, who's looking for like street team work. So I get on them. I started working the Terminate on Site project. At that time, this is probably about 2006, 2007, around that time, and
because you did internship in New York, I remember.
Well, this was before that. You know, this is when I'm still in Seattle. Like I'm still living in Seattle at this time, so I'm hanging up posters all around Seattle.
Right.
I had just moved up to Bellingham from school, so I'm hanging up posters up there, hanging out T-shirts. You know, all this type of street team work. So that was just like my entry, my foray into the music industry. And from that led to me doing the same thing for Maybach. And I was doing that in Seattle as well.
Yeah, I remember we went to Vancouver together actually. And you were doing some work with Dream Chasers. And you ended up getting us in the this is way before Meek was popular or anybody knew him. I remember.
Yeah, that's what I mean, man. You know the journey.
Yeah. It was me, you, and Jaren, I think.
Yeah.
We drove up there like a Thursday night or something.
We did.
Yeah. This is way before anybody knew who Meek was.
Bro. It just shows like the grind at that time, man.
Yeah.
So I did that, and I'm in my senior year of college.
Right.
You know, and so the way, thankfully, the way things aligned up was that I was able to move to New York at the time. I was able to finish school by just doing online classes.
Right. Central Washington. Wildcats. We went to the same school.
No, man.
Right.
Central. So I get out there, and I apply for an internship at Epic Records and I get it. And another thing is like, I'm still trying to get an A&R, but I'm also trying to get my foot in the door at the time.
Right.
So I get an internship in like pop radio, but it gets my foot in the door. I start making connections. I'm networking with people.
Right,
I'm learning the industry from the label side.
Right.
And it was just an awesome experience. And like one thing led to another. I started doing that. I finagled my way over to the A&R department for the next semester to intern in that. And then luckily, I ended up getting very fortunate. I got a position to start off, starting in the A&R department as like an assistant, and I just worked my way up. That's kind of like, a short roundup of where we get to.
Exactly.
I left out a lot of parts, but you kind of get the gist of it.
I know you changed your location from Seattle to New York when you first started doing internship for a couple of years. I know that's life changes. How was the transition like, moving from Seattle to joining Epics and doing an internship with them?
You know what? Like for me, my situation, like it was good. Like, I was real confident in my decision because I had support. Like I had the full support of my family.
Right.
Like my parents, like really sat me down and told me, they're like, look, go for this. If it doesn't work out, you can always come back home and do what you're doing now. But don't live your life regretting not ever doing this.
Right.
So it's that's all I needed. I was ready to go after that.
Yeah.
Once I got them words, I probably would have went even without their encouragement.
Yeah. Right.
But like that just like assured me of my decision.
Right.
Like
right.
And also growing up.
They gave you the blessings.
Yeah, the blessing is what But also growing up, like I was that kid that like dreamed of living in New York.
Right.
Walking through Times Square and like going to Central Park and all of these things and like getting an opportunity to do it. I was like, man, I'm out.
I'm out of here.
Yeah, I was out, man.
Yeah. No, I respect it, bro. Like, cause you even worked at AT&T for a long period of time, for like 7 years. 7 years. Yeah. You know what I mean? I seen Jermaine's come up, man. You know what I mean? He put in that work day in, day out. He never complained. You know what I mean? This is one of the most humblest brothers you can ever meet. Seriously, man. Like knowing him for a long time, and he literally took it step by step. And to see where he's at today. I'm honored to be his friend. You know what I mean? Real talk. If you or someone you know suffers from extreme pain, depression, or anxiety on a daily basis, I would recommend they try CBD products. What is CBD? CBD is short for cannabis oil, which is derived from the hemp plant. It is non-intoxicating, does not get you high. Some of the CBD benefits are: it is a natural pain relief remedy, reduces anxiety and depression, can alleviate cancer-related symptoms, helps reduce blood pressure, possible treatment for epilepsy, and builds your immune system. CBDFX is the top 5 CBD companies in North America. Go check them out at www.cbdfx.com, as they have many different options of products ranging from CBD oil, creams, gummies, and capsules. Make sure you type in Pure15 at checkout to get 15% off on unlimited items. I know a lot of people, like, they just see that, now you work with DJ Khaled and Yo Gotti and Future and all these people, but they don't really see, the work ethic behind it. You know what I mean? So you don't have to tell us exactly what you do day to day, but just give us like a small example of the work ethic that, that got you to where you're at today.
Well, like, I'm a strong, like, believer in that, like, hard work pays off. So, like, even when I couldn't, like, see the light at the end of the tunnel, and, like, I'm not saying that, like, I'm nowhere near, like, the finish line or where I want to be at, or, like, the goals and aspirations I have for myself in this industry. Right. But I always believe that, like, if I worked my ass off, it would pay off, and I started seeing some of the fruits of my labor. But, like, it's a lot of stuff behind the scenes. Like, that's my primary job, is, like, behind the scenes. Like, everything involving the recording process of an artist, I'm dealing with. Right. Like, things that people don't always think about, like travel. I'm booking studio sessions. I'm finding the right engineers for us to work with, the right producers, the right features to get on a song. Like, anything throughout this process, I'm blowing up artists to get to the studio on time. It's like, it's right. All of this,
No,
late night studio sessions, like,
That's
It's a lot that
consistent.
goes
Yeah,
into it.
yeah. That's perseverance, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because what you're doing is you're setting up your artists for success.
Yeah, and I have to put them in positions where they feel comfortable. And like the way this industry works, it doesn't sleep. I may get a call at 1 in the morning, and the artist is like, "I need to get in the studio right now."
Right.
You know, and I'm like, hey, I gotta find something, you know. And there's been instances where like I'll get a call, and this call is coming from Paris.
Right.
You know, so it's just like I gotta find something for them to get into in Paris at that time. So it's just like it's 24/7.
So you're working around the clock.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's around the clock, man.
No, that's dope, man. That's dope. You know what I mean? So how does a local artist from Seattle or anywhere in the world, how do they take their craft to the next level? Like, let's say they're, they want to be rappers and they're putting out mixtapes. They have a social media account. They're doing this and that, and they're not getting that energy back that they're putting out. What do you think are some good tips that they can learn from you and move forward with and play into action?
Well, like the advice, or maybe I should say suggestions that I would have for them is to just don't stop. Like
Right.
you have to keep going. Like don't like feel bad. Don't like stop because like people aren't responding to you right away. All it takes is one record. Keep putting music out.
Right.
Like flood it. Flood the streets. Keep putting music out. The more you record, the better you're gonna get.
Exactly.
Maybe your music isn't good enough now, but it can get better. It can get to that point, and something can catch for you. But just keep going. Like if you truly believe in this,
Right.
you're gonna keep going.
Right.
Like, you're gonna work, and you might not like get all the rewards of it right away.
Right away.
But just keep pushing. You
Right.
have to keep pushing because like whatever goals you set for yourself, like your goals may be, I want to get signed to a label, right?
Right.
That's what you hear that from a lot of artists, right? So you get signed to a label, you're not done. Like
Just because you got that. Yeah.
Like this is now everything's restarting.
Right.
Now you're at ground zero.
Right.
So what are you gonna do now? Now that you're signed, what are you gonna do?
You gotta
You know,
stop.
you like this never stops. Like some of the biggest artists I work with today have the craziest work ethic I've ever seen. Like their work ethic motivates me.
Right.
Like I have some of the biggest artists in the world right now
Right.
that are in the studio right now recording. And they're in there and they haven't left the studio in the last 24 hours.
Wow.
It's just it's you need like that kind of grind, that kind of dedication. Because if the people that are at like the top of the game are doing that,
Right. Right.
you need to work harder than they are.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's tunnel vision.
Yeah.
It's like you said, you're right. Just podcasting. You know what I'm saying? Like from the first episode until now, I've seen a lot of changes. I get feedback from friends, and they tell me, "Yo, your first episode was dope." But as you drop an episode, moving forward, you've been getting better every time. And you're right. It's just you got to keep putting content out because, like you said, it could just be that one video or episode that you put out, and everybody gravitate towards it. And, takes off, goes viral, and now you got all these companies coming at you, and they want to sign you, whatever the case might be.
Mm-hmm.
So. What do you think about content creators? Not like in the rap game, just it could be from comedy skits, music, podcasts. Like, what do you think about content creators that just put out negativity? You know what I mean? Because I feel like in today's age, now that social media has taken over the world, people want to know who you are outside of what you do. If you're a rapper, if you're a singer, this and that, they want to know who you are. They want to. Because I know, or I see a lot of people that make content and all they do is just focus on negativity, drugs, violence, just things that are promoting self-destruction. How important is it to, characterize who you are, let the world know who you are, and add in personality to your content and just kind of like, just adding positivity if that helps.
Yeah, like I'm all for the positive messages. On the other end of the spectrum, though, that you also have to look at is there's an audience for that. So there's an audience that's buying into what's perceived as the negative content.
Right.
So people may be putting out that type of content, but there's an audience that wants that.
Right.
And so that's kind of like it's the good and the bad about what we've got going now is that like there's like content. I love it. I still feel like there's a shortage of content because like everybody needs content. Right. Music labels need content. We need songs. We need albums. We need music videos. We need all that. Streaming platforms like Netflix, Hulu, they need content. You know, content is king right now. Right. So, like you put that out, and like I was saying, like there's an audience for it. So people like, and you can go out and find the content that you're looking for. Right. You know what I mean? So like if you're searching for positive content, you can go out and find it. You might have to search a little bit harder, but it's there. So like if you're somebody that like says, man, like I don't like listening to music now because this is the only message that I'm hearing. Right. Just go search. Because there are artists out there that I'm sure you can find an artist that's putting forth the type of content that you want to hear. Yeah. And it's just go look for it. You'll find it. Right. Yeah, because you look at J. Cole, you look at Kendrick Lamar, you look at that's just to name a few, but there's a lot of artists out there that, and in their music, they make you think, and that it's all about growth and stuff like that. And a lot of the younger generation, they don't idolize these guys because they can't gravitate towards them. You know what I mean? Yeah. But if you're a content creator out there, make sure you add positivity and a little bit of character to your content, because outside of what you do, people are gonna want to know who you are, and nobody is gonna. Jermaine said it the best. Everybody gravitates towards something, but I feel like people that have a mixture of different things in their content, they will last a long time. You know what I mean? Just example, if you listen to 300 songs about, hey, go get him, shoot him, kill him, dump his body, versus having different options within an artist, it's going to be different. So Jermaine, man, who's your favorite artist in the game right now? Ooh. That's a tough question. Tough question. No, I mean, but you like. I mean, I'll tell you artists that I'm fans of at the moment. Right. Okay. That's the way we're gonna do it. Okay. But also, you gotta, I do have a biased opinion based off.
That's cool. I don't mind. I'm
a big fan of Lil Baby.
Oh yeah, I rock with him.
Always a big fan of Drake.
Drake's nice.
I'm a big fan of any project that I'm working on. Anything.
Who's your top 5, dead or alive?
You're gonna have people calling my phone.
No, we're not gonna do that, man.
Yeah. But man, it's just like there's a lot that I'm excited about in the game right now. Right. Like if you look at like my iTunes playlist or what I'm listening to on Spotify, like you'll see like it's a lot of different artists. It's they're not always.
And you're always looking, right, for different artists.
Looking, I have to be.
Yeah.
I have to stay, on my toes and see what the next thing is. Like a little bit of my job is also like being a little bit ahead of the wave. Like I have to, kind of like have some vision of what's going to be hot a year from now. Right.
You got to foresee the future.
A little bit, you got to, man. You got to. And also, like, sometimes, like, you gotta push the sound of some of your artists, to make sure. Right.
What do you think about Seattle and the music industry, the rap game in Seattle? I feel like a lot of Seattle rappers are not being recognized, but I feel like, Seattle is not one of those cities that get looked upon like, oh, he's nice, like Atlanta or New York, LA, but at the same time we got a lot of good talent there.
So talent-wise, Seattle's there. Right. Like there's so much talent in that area. Right. Like there are artists that can rap. There's a lot of melodic guys. Like it's really, really dope. Right. Out of Seattle. But what I do feel that Seattle's lacking is the infrastructure. Right. So what I mean by that is like a lot of these other cities, there's like the infrastructure of like people know where to go to like and they know who to go to seek advice from and the way to move around in the industry. Right. And, you know, and that's like, and that comes from the artist side, and that also comes from people that really want to work in music. I'm gonna say on the hip hop front, you know, right. Other genres in Seattle is probably set up that way, but like that's part of the reason why I left Seattle and went to New York, because me looking at it, there was nobody I knew in Seattle that I could go to and be like, man, like I don't see anybody here doing what I want to do, so how am I gonna get there?
Right.
You know, so like so I had to go to New York and gain the experience, but what I am doing, bro, and like what my like ultimate goal is to gain all this experience and bring it back to Seattle so we can have that infrastructure. You know, like that is like a dream of mine, to be able to set up an infrastructure in Seattle where like artists, people that want to work in the music industry have somewhere to go. Right. Like there's a home in Seattle where you can come to, you can learn the industry, and you can know what it takes to, you know, get it pushed through. You know, because it's like there's so much talent. And once this like, what people are saying, a glass ceiling in Seattle is broken, it's going to be crazy. And it already is, because there are artists that are breaking out of Seattle. Right. You know?
Like you mean like moving to different, like...
Well, places? Like I mean like that are repping Seattle. Mm-hmm. Artists that are like clearly repping Seattle and that are having success in the music industry. Even in hip hop.
Oh, okay.
We got, you know, there are artists coming from Seattle, recent artists that are doing this. Right. So, but it's just like, people feel like the floodgates aren't all the way open yet. Right. But like, we just got to keep pushing, man.
Absolutely.
And like, because we all have the same goal.
Right.
You know, absolutely. To break as many artists as possible out of Seattle. Right. And it's very doable.
Yeah, it is. You know, there's a lot of artists in Seattle. You know, they're doing their thing. A lot of younger guys, you know, they're rapping, they're putting content out and stuff like that. But I also feel like it's important to kind of leave your comfort zone and kind of like network and go to different places and connect with different people and stuff like that. Absolutely. What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, you're right. Like, if you have the opportunity to do that, you know, I definitely recommend it. But like, I run into artists from Seattle all the time out here in LA. Like every week, like there's an artist from Seattle out here that, you know, I run into, and I try to get in contact with as many of them as possible. You know, just so we can talk. Right. You know, just, you know, I can give them a little bit of knowledge or game, and you know, I can just see what they have going on. Like I pretty much have an open door policy with these guys, where it's like a lot of them you can check in with a lot of the artists, and like a lot of them have my number, a lot of them reach out to me, you know, and just have conversations. Right. Because I try to spread the knowledge that I can to them.
Right. That's dope, man. You know what I mean? I'm just glad it's you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't really have, there's not really too many people from Seattle that are in the rap industry in a position like you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
And didn't you sign a Seattle artist recently?
Yeah, Travis Thompson. I signed him a couple years ago to the label. He actually has a project coming soon. So
Okay. That's what's up, man. Yeah, actually, that's dope, man. That's dope. Yeah, man, I really appreciate you, man. You always pulling up for the hometown, man. Seattle 206, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you know how it is, man, like being from Seattle. Everybody has a lot of hometown love. You know, and it's another thing, like you were kind of speaking on it a little bit earlier when you were saying that, like, there's not a lot of people from Seattle that you know of that are in the industry. Right. So it's like when we do see each other. I
see a lot of players in the NBA from Seattle.
Right.
But not in the rap game.
But there are a few of us that do work in the industry. So like when we see each other, or like when we find out somebody's from Seattle, man, it's like that instant connection. Like it's crazy, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So how's that pandemic affected the rap game? Because I know. I've seen a lot of artists talk about that on different podcasts.
The biggest way it's affected, like I would say the industry in general, is that the touring has gone away. Right. You know, so
because of COVID, you can't.
Yeah, so we haven't had these live shows, and then in a lot of places, clubs haven't been open. So a lot of artists that have put out music haven't really felt how their records feel. Because it's one thing, you know, you have your music out, but like not being in a club and seeing the way people react to your music, or not performing at a concert and seeing like your fans going crazy to your music, it's like it's a little different right now. Yeah. But there are also some artists that have like waited, so like you're gonna see like there's gonna be a lot of music dropping right now.
Oh, because
because
shit's
the
opening
tour and
back up.
everything's opening back up. So like it's gonna be so much music dropping because like these people that have waited over the pandemic to not drop any music are putting it out now. You know, because they want to hit the road and get new music out, new material out.
Right.
But like it changed, it changed our recording process a lot. Because early on, all the studios were shut down.
Right.
So now we get to a thing where like artists that weren't used to recording at home started recording at home.
Right.
You know, so like that was a little bit of an adjustment period.
Right.
And you know that like there's like and a lot of people were sitting on music too. So it's like it's kind of, I'm not gonna call it a backlog of music, but there's a lot of records that people have been sitting on that have been waiting for the right time to drop.
Yeah. Oh no, you're right. Absolutely, bro. COVID has shut the world down. Everything. A lot of things have changed.
Man. It was something that like looking back at it, man, it's something that we had never experienced in our life, something we didn't expect to experience in our life, and like just having conversations with like my parents and like some elders, they're just like, this is something we never experienced.
Yeah, because it happened 100 years ago, I think.
Yeah, so like it was just like there's really like nobody that had been through it before, you know. And we look back at it like, man, I think we were at the office, and the day we officially shut down, we got a notice, and it was like, hey, we're closing the offices for 2 weeks.
And that 2 weeks turned into what?
Oh man, this is last March.
Wow, that's tough, man. Yeah, man. So before we get out of here, bro, what's like one advice you got? You know what I mean, for like a young brother who's like, you know, in the studio every day, or you know, he has some sort of dream that he wants to chase, and what's your advice to him? You know, and he might not be getting the reaction that he's looking for immediately, but he's putting in that work every day, and he's hoping and praying that something comes out of it in the near future. What's your advice on that?
Don't give up on your dream. First of all, keep pushing for it.
Yeah.
Don't get discouraged at all, and just keep working. Work harder than everybody else.
Right.
Work. Like anything like that you're dreaming for, you need to work for it.
Right.
You know, and you gotta have that mindset, and you have to have that in you that like you're gonna be working for this forever. Like it's not gonna stop. Like even like I said, if you become the hottest artist in the game, you got #1 records, you're selling out shows everywhere. You still need to have that same work ethic, and that work ethic starts at the beginning.
Right.
It's not something that you're gonna pick up later on.
Facts.
So you need to have that ingrained in you.
Right.
And always keep it.
Yeah, man, that's facts, bro. You know what I mean? Keep pushing. You only lose when you quit. You know what I mean?
There you go.
Just keep grinding, put that work in, believe in yourself. You know, you're gonna have people around you, oh, you can't do it, or I try, you know, they put their fears on you. At the end of the day, do what you think about before you go to sleep, and you can't sleep without. You know what I mean? Just put that work in every day. You know what I mean? Because all you got is time, so you might as well use that time correctly. You know? Yeah, man. This is my brother Jermaine, man. I love you, bro.
Love you too,
you know what I'm saying? Always showing love, man.
Yeah, this was fun, man.
Yeah, bro. Straight up, man. One of the most humblest, like I said, coolest brothers from Seattle, man.
Thank you.